Good day to you and welcome to the Family Cyber Clinic. I'm so happy, so chuffed that you're here again. The fact that you're here means there's something that you're looking for, and I'm hoping that I'm helping you find exactly that. Thank you also for being a part of the launch. It was an awesome and humbling experience for me, just to see the amount of people who want to learn and who want to know more. It means we share a common goal. We want to protect our children. Logging on and browsing on the internet has become real. It's become part and parcel of the education system in many places. So most times we don't have a choice. Some parents do, but mostly we don't. And because we want them to come out straight and wise, and we don't want them to do things in ignorance. And so we have an opportunity to help shield them from the nasties. And so I'm hoping that you'll gain enough knowledge that will give you the confidence to re-engage with the children who are under your control. Okay, so we talked last week, and I am going to focus on an area that I think is best that we start and kick this off on. And it's the area of parental controls. Parental controls. You ask, what are parental controls? In a simple way, and I've done my research, I've visited a government website, ofcom.org.uk. I'll put the link in the description. And Ofcom define parental control simply as any application or setting that gives parents control over what their kids see and do online, particularly on their devices. And that could be the smartphone, a laptop, a game console. It basically gives power back to parents to protect their kids from the dangers of the internet. I'll give you 3 facts also found on the Ofcom website. 9 out of 10 parents say that parental control software or settings have helped their kids. Kids who have a smartphone spend an average of 7.5 hours on it. Yes, 7.5. 50% of kids admit that they are addicted to their phones. Sad times. Addicted to their phones. And so this will form the basis of our dialogue, our discourse in this video today. So please listen carefully. And so you understand how bad things are getting. I always insist that I'm not being dramatic. I'm just saying it as it is. But you know, there were times in our lives, certainly in this country being the UK, that, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere, all over the world, we tell our kids don't speak to strangers. Yeah. In the internet world, a child who has access to a social media platform like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and has not locked down his or her profile or account and just allowed the default settings, what that child is basically doing is exposing themselves to contact from strangers by just simply keeping their profiles public. Now that's a disturbing thought. Don't speak to strangers. However, whilst you're on the internet, you're allowing strangers talk to you. I think parental controls is a beautiful way to kick this video, the first of many, off. And so I'm going to tell you what tips the Ofcom website have, put together, and I think tips that resonate with me, tips that I know that will be beneficial to you. So you have the opportunity to go to Ofcom and see it yourself, but I'm going to try and in the language you will understand, I hope, try and explain it and see where we go from there. So it's vital that we protect our children in the digital world because there's unsuitable content on the internet. And if there's unsuitable content on the internet, we've got to protect our children from seeing those contents. age appropriate, inappropriate, however you want to. So we have tips, and I'll run through these tips very quickly. The first being setting up a PIN for the TV service. What does that mean? If you have Netflix or Amazon Prime, you can set a PIN. In fact, you can even create a profile that allows just the kids, and then you have adults. So you set a PIN on the general platform. So unless they're logged into their own section, they can't watch any movie. You can even go further and allow them to only watch movies that are age appropriate. So you set pins on all content from a certain age, let's say 15. So any content that's above 15 will require a pin to be able to watch it. You can do that, or at least achieve that protection whether you're at home or not. So that's a huge tip, I'm sure you will agree. We also have, at a slightly higher level, content filtering, where you're able to set filters at quite a higher level, and that's at the broadband router level. And what that simply means is that with the filter, you prevent the content that is actually coming through your broadband router, I beg your pardon. And the idea there is that all the nasties are kept out. It's always not 100%, but it will keep the nasties predominantly out so that your browsing experience is incident free, because you've kept the nasties out from source. That's a huge tip, and that also can be set up at the parental control level. So we have pins, we have content filters. Now at an application level, if you're using browsers as you would to browse the internet, you'll use Google Chrome or you'll use Safari. Google Chrome, for example, has what's called Google Safe Search. Our kids come back from school, they have homework, and they've been told to do searches all over the internet. Now, to guard them, to protect them from getting Google search results that are not age appropriate, you have to enable Google Safe Search. It's not 100% accurate, but it keeps most of the violent and adult content away from the Google search results. You have digital well-being. That's another offering from Google. And that one simply gives you an overview of your internet life, really. Can't think of any other way to explain that. Basically gives you a daily view of how often, for example, you check your phone, how frequently you use different apps. So having knowledge of that, imagine you having that knowledge, and indeed having that knowledge of your kids' activities. You could easily during dinner tell them, guys, I've just looked at the dashboard, you're spending too much time. And you have some information that will help guide the discussion. YouTube is another one that many people use. Many, I mean many. Everybody knows about YouTube. You know about YouTube, but you don't know about, I hope you do, but if you don't, you're going to learn today. YouTube restricted mode. And that's a mode on YouTube. It's an opt-in setting. So you've got to opt in to activate it. It helps screen out explicit and adult content to protect our children when they use YouTube. And we just simply give them our tablets. Go on, break a leg. But we don't know what we're actually giving to them. We're giving them weapons that could maim them, that could frustrate them, But if you enable YouTube restricted mode, it prevents the nasties from just turning up whilst they're trying to enjoy themselves. I know we mean well when we give them our tablets, but now that you know this, you give them the tablet with restricted mode enabled, and that will prevent even things in the comment section from coming up and causing harm. Now, the devices where parental controls work are as follows. You have tablets, you have laptops, you have game consoles, you have smartphones like I've spoken. All these systems out of the box have parental controls. And now we don't enable them because they can be a nuisance. I remember giving, when I was enabling parental controls for my sons when they were in secondary school, I had to create a list of all the websites they could go to. and it was a small list. And they'll come back from homework some days and tell me, "Oh, Daddy, I can't log on to this site, it's blocked." Because you don't need to get there. And they will give me all the excuses and justifications that they need to have access to those sites. And of course, I'll go there, I'll enter the site, they have access, homework done. And that would be repeated week in, week out. Nuisance it was for me at the time. So much so that I just disabled the parental controls, and I realized that it was just better to discuss it with them and tell them what they needed to do whilst on the internet. And we'll touch on that little comment later on. So it can be a nuisance, but it's important that we do it. Patiently do it. And then when it becomes such a nuisance, then we have options like setting those content filters at the top so that the nasties are not coming in anywhere and we have nothing to fear per se. Okay, so in summary, we've touched on smartphones and other devices like Apple, iPhone, Google Pixel, LG, and all those other phones and tablets. You can set parental controls on those devices. You can set parental controls on Google, YouTube, and Netflix. Those are entertainment and search engines. You can also set parental controls on broadband and mobile networks, EE, Virgin Media, and BT. Sky is also in that list. They go on and on. Social media is another area you can set parental controls. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, etc., etc. Those parental controls are there for you to use to protect what your children are exposed to when they are browsing on the internet. Now, I give you this disclaimer. Parental controls and privacy settings can be very effective. They're effective tools to help minimize the risks that our children face whilst browsing on the internet. But it's sad to tell you that they're not 100% effective. Like I alluded to about engaging in discussions and communication with the children, it's really important that we teach our kids skills. Teach them skills. You ask me what kind of skills? Critical thinking, resilience, creativity outside the internet, things that will engage them. And you do this to equip them so that they know what to do when they encounter risks. Always encourage the children to talk to you about anything they find upsetting online. So even if you have all the pins set up on the TV service or all the content filters at the broadband source level, children must still be able to access this content. If they visit their friends and they are not as rigid or particular about these things, the beautiful thing is if we engage them by communicating, when they go to places where security is less of an issue and they're exposed to content they're not supposed to be watching or viewing, they know what to do. So talk to the children. Talk to them what they need to do whilst online. If they see things that's upsetting, they should come and tell you. It has to be an open door policy. The NSPCC have a Share Aware site where you can get tips and ideas on how to kick off or trigger those discussions about what our children see and do online. I'll put the link in the description for your benefit. I also told us during the launch that we will endeavor to have or cover an area about things that are trending, and we named that section What's New in the Clinic. I know one of the viewers was quite excited about that. And I'm going to talk about WhatsApp. WhatsApp, owned by Facebook, announced several weeks ago that there was a bug in their application. And the bug was designed to remotely upload malicious code onto your phone that will mimic a phone call. And it will happen so many times that it will cause what we call in cyber terms a denial of service, which just makes your WhatsApp crash. WhatsApp crashing ever so often is an indication that you have that bug on your WhatsApp. WhatsApp thankfully have fixed the vulnerability on the server side, and over that weekend they produced an update, a patch that users like you and I had to apply on our WhatsApp application. I know many of you haven't done it. Yeah, how do I know? Because I know. Some of us have a list of outstanding updates just waiting for us to do. And so you know, when updates are released, they're released because bugs have been found. Usually security bugs have been found in the application that would frustrate your browsing experience, that will open you up to the holes that exist by rogues that have created it on the internet. So those bugs are there to, fix those vulnerabilities. When you don't patch, you're vulnerable. I hope that would change your mindset about allowing those updates stay forever without applying them. But you must update your applications. It's vital that you do. Okay? So do that. At least update your WhatsApp. And I'm sure your WhatsApp experience will be a lot better after that. I know many of you had problems subscribing and liking this video last time because you simply didn't log into your browser. What I will say is you must log into the browser you're using, whether it's Google or Safari. You must log into the browser to be able to like videos, to be able to enable YouTube restricted mode, to be able to subscribe. And so I end this video by asking you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. You've got to log on and do so. And also like the video if it's been of benefit to you. Tell your friends, click the bell so that you'll be alerted when new videos are uploaded. I am so excited about this platform and I'm glad that you are part of this journey. I hope that you got what you came for today and that you are leaving empowered and equipped to engage your children in useful and informative discussions. I'm so excited. Wisdom is the principal thing. In all you're getting, get wisdom. Okay, so till next week, I'm your host, Cyber Pastor Lawrence Eden. Goodbye.